What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast, back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, we got a great Super Bowl preview this week.
I am so excited. And a quick shout out. This is the first time we've had another woman on the podcast. So I am so excited to have Tiffany here and Ron. You guys both have some awesome stuff going on.
It is. It's
Yeah,
cool to be here. So thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for the time. We
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it's an honor. Ron, this is your second time on the show. We had you on last year for our
Yep.
Super Bowl preview. We got Super Bowl 60 coming up this weekend. You and Tiffany have a new podcast dropping tomorrow called No Headsets on Whistle Sports and YouTube. Ron, how excited are you for this podcast?
Well, what it really is about is it's about basically a conversation between myself and Tiffany. We've had a connection for many years. She broke into the industry working for the NFL Network and actually covered me. And we developed a rapport. And some people said, you guys sound natural together. You guys ought to do something. You guys ought to work together. Well, I never really thought about it. And then one day, Tiffany and I got into a conversation and we wouldn't stop talking. And she finally said, you might be right. We should work together. So that's what we're trying to do. We think this is going to be a unique perspective. And the thing I love about Tiffany is, her perspective is not just as a sportscaster, but as the daughter of a former NFL player and coach as well. So she's going to have some unique perspectives as well.
Yeah, when we got on the phone, I think it was like back in November or something. I had called Coach about like a totally different topic, and he's like, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" And I was like, "Well, okay, let's do it." And again, it goes back to just that relationship that we had and getting to cover the team, the Panthers on their Super Bowl run, and then pretty much covering them for 5 years. Going to Charlotte while I was at NFL Network, and just built this great rapport with Ron. He's kind of like, I joke that he's like my second football dad. 'Cause not only was he like someone I could trust to go to for information, but also just to give a hard time to as well. So I'm excited about getting to work with him and have some fun.
Hey, I have to say, as a Packers fan whose co-host is a Bears fan, having someone you can talk some shit with and give a hard time to is great. It makes for great chemistry on the podcast. So I think that you guys are gonna have a ton of fun. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how your episode is tomorrow when it comes out.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys this year, how'd you guys handle this season now? I mean, the Bears winning the division for the first time in a long time and then beating the Packers in the playoff. I mean, life couldn't be any better, could it?
Oh, it's been a long time coming. Amanda's Packers have owned us for far too long. It was about time, right, Amanda?
Listen, I today is not the day to ask me about the Packers. I just found out we're keeping our special teams coordinator who has not ranked above 20th since he joined our team.
Wow.
So I'm a little bitter today. I don't have anything nice to say about the Packers at the moment. So I'm kind of mad at them. But what's funny is the Packers fans, we expect our team to go to the Super Bowl every year. So for us, unless we make it to the Super Bowl, we're bummed out. The Chicago Bears beat the Packers in the postseason. That is their Super Bowl. They didn't want
That is
anything else from the season
unbelievable.
other than beating the Packers. That is their bar. So
Oh my God.
congratulations to you guys.
I said, that's spoken like a true Packer fan right there. Wow.
I'm a little cranky. Don't mind me.
They've had back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, so we're hoping we finally found ours in Caleb Williams. Ron, you're currently the GM for Cal football. How's that transition been like?
Well, I'll tell you what, Alex, it's an interesting set of dynamics. I love football. I really do. I love the game. The hard part now is the minutia outside the game. And what we have now going is we have revenue share and NIL above the cap monies. And to me, that's the scary part is money's going to change this game a little bit more than I think it needs to be changed. It's a good game. It's the second most popular team sport in America as far as TV is concerned, only behind the NFL. And what we're starting to see is the influx of money and how it's impacting the game. And we need to get control of it. But I've enjoyed my time being back home in Berkeley. You know what they say, and sorry, Amanda, but once a bear, always a bear.
There you go. That's
Listen, we
very
we had
cool.
a couple really good players who went to that school, so I don't mind Cal at all. They can
Hmm.
they can keep sending some future Hall of Famers to the Packers.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, there's a tremendous history with that quarterback. Aaron coming in and winning his Super Bowl there was pretty sweet. And then a young Richard Rodgers playing tight end and that Hail Mary catch that one game. I mean, there really are some unique guys that have had opportunities to play. And just the history of Cal and his connection to the NFL has been very strong too. Because you look at some of the other guys that are doing well in this league, and you got to obviously talk about Jared Goff. I mean, that's a guy that's having a tremendous career right now. We had Keenan Allen, Cam Jordan. I mean, it's a good list, and so we're very proud of all of our alums that have had the opportunity to play in the NFL.
So Tiffany, I'm gonna cut the boys out of this for a second. I've stalked you on Instagram. I've seen you on sidelines. You're killing it with your reporting, and I love getting to see you on the field. I'm a fan of the vests, by the way. So as a woman, how awesome is it that there is an NFL owner now who is killing it on the sidelines? Callie, or say Gordon, I mean, I am obsessed with her. Like on the sidelines, just focused on what's going on. She doesn't seem to buy into the politics. Like she doesn't let any of like the big personalities go into her decision making at all. How has it been as someone in the industry watching this like historical thing happen?
I think it's incredible. And I always want us to get to a point where we don't have to make everything a first, right?
Mhm.
But I love how she's so hands-on because people were questioning that at
Absolutely.
first. What's she doing on the sideline? What's she doing taking
Yeah.
notes? And I think it's great to show that you have an owner that present and that involved. And I know take away the injuries that happened to the Colts this season, and we're
Mhm.
talking about a different outcome for them. Probably further, make it into the postseason and stuff like that. So it's unfortunate what happened with Daniel Jones, but I think they were on the cusp of something really great there. And I think it's so impactful to see the leadership that she's been able to bring to that team.
Yeah, absolutely. At the halfway point of this season, I was like, oh, is it going to be Colts Green Bay in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl? And then injuries destroyed my hopes and dreams.
Ron, I got a question for you. So, if you look around the landscape of not just college, but in the pros as well, you're seeing a rise in coaches willing to use analytics, and they seem to be more, going into interesting situational decisions like Sean Payton going forward on fourth down in the AFC Championship game, like Seattle needing to convert 3 2-point conversions to beat the Rams earlier this year. What do you make of the rise in analytics and some interesting decision making that these coaches, get themselves into?
Well, I think for the most part, the rise is something that's always been there. It's just we never really had to look for numbers to tell us what to do.
Yeah,
Remember, I kind of got the nickname Riverboat Ron for looking at the fourth down situations. But the truth is, I went for 'em more so because I felt, the need to or the opportunity to was in our favor.
Mhm.
Now with analytics, you have a set of numbers that you can rely on, and the thing about it is, if it takes away the decision making, and you go by the numbers, then who's at fault? You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
remember, if they tell you to go for it and that you can increase your chance to win if you convert, but it also can decrease your chances to win if you don't convert. So
yeah.
we're forgetting that there's guys making decisions, but they're still making decisions to follow the analytics. So, and I'm not saying people need to be criticized, but I still need to think at the end of the day, we have to understand that you still have to make a decision whether you're going to follow those analytics or you're going to put it all out on the line and try and win the game.
Don't get this man talking about analytics because he'll keep going. We actually got to talk about it on our first episode, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, you'll hear about that because there's a great moment that Coach shared when with Cam Newton, and
Oh
obviously
yeah.
those guys wanting to go for it. But we definitely dived into that on the first episode of the podcast.
So I went through Alex's notes and I have to say his word interesting, that was my edit because he had a more negative word there and I was like, no, let's be unbiased, Alex.
Yeah,
He's not the biggest fan. I just feel like you go back to like the 90s and watch NFL games, it just felt more intuitive.
Mhm.
Now I feel like it's sometimes almost a
Yes.
cop out because they're like, well, analytics says to go for it. I want to watch the coach who's just so in tune with his
Yes.
players and his team, just like
yeah,
basing decisions off his intuition. Like Ron, I mean, you were known for doing this before the numbers were so readily available, before you had someone just sending you percentage on the field, like, hey, you should go for it. There's a 70% chance. Like, I like watching coaches who just have that like intuition just going and making decisions off of that.
No, and I think, Amanda, you're absolutely right because now the numbers say it. People can get criticized, but what we're forgetting is that just because the numbers say to go for it, now you still have to decide to go for it. It just makes it easier to decide. And if it doesn't work out, it's like, well, how did you feel at that moment? Did you feel like you shouldn't have gone for it? Do you feel like you should have kicked the extra point, or you should have kicked the field goal? I mean, those are the questions that aren't being asked. You know what I'm saying? If you use analytics and it fails, why wouldn't you ask, well, did you feel like not using the numbers? Do you feel like going with your intuition, going with what you've learned or what you feel? How'd you feel about the game? Did you think about what could have gone the other way if you did, kick the field goal instead of go for the touchdown? I mean, those questions are questions that we're not asking because, well, the numbers said go for it.
Yeah.
But we're still making decisions, right? But we're making decisions a little more readily because the numbers say. What everybody's missing is the numbers only tell you to go for it based on if you convert it. Because if you convert it, you increase your chances to win. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing everybody's not understanding. It's not that you're 100% going to convert it. It's just saying it's going to increase the chances to win. So to me, you got to look at the whole picture. And to Amanda's point, your intuition, your experience, you've seen these plays enough to know that they should or shouldn't work, or you feel good about the way your guys have played so far in the game. That to me is some of the things that we need to think about is how are my guys playing? Is my guy injured? Is this a grass field or is this a turf field? I mean, all these things that you can't measure by analytics are the things we as coaches are supposed to be taking into account.
Tiffany, what's your thoughts of the Super Bowl this weekend? Are you rooting for one team or the other? I kept waiting for Sam Darnold to come back down to earth, and he just keeps proving me wrong game after game.
Such a Sam Darnold hater. He has been every week. He's like, I just know he's going to throw 4 picks this week, and I was like, okay, well, it's going to be next week.
I gotta
He
admit.
just doesn't trust him not to have a bad turnover game, and he's been waiting for the other shoe all season.
It's like I like silent reporting. Like, yes, I can get into the statistics and all that, the information, the game stuff, but I really also fall in love with just the storylines of it. And so I was always thinking this is incredible for Sam Darnold, like a redemption kind of thing to go through. And I think it's awesome for him to be in this position in the Super Bowl. It's like you couldn't, as he said it, script it out, any better. Like this probably is going to end up being a movie or something like that one day. But I think, and the belief that you like Ernest Jones being so vocal about backing up his quarterback, even when things didn't look good at one period of time, right? So I think finding the right spot, that's kind of what Sam Darnold's story kind of illustrates, is that you have to end up finding the right place for you. And I think that changes everything. And that's evident. And also kind of lends itself to the other storylines you've seen in the league with like Baker Mayfield, like these guys that have been in the league for a while, but then they've gone on this journey and found the right landing spot. So people are so quick to cast aside guys, and you shouldn't be. And I think Sam Darnold's a pretty good example of that. And then on the Patriots side of things, I think Mike Vrabel is fantastic. I got to cover him during his time with the Titans, and they went to the AFC Championship. They lost to the Chiefs, so I was on the sideline freezing, doing pregame reports in that game at Arrowhead. But just what he's been able to do in coaching his former team in his first season, and then turning it around with Drake May. You just can't say enough about the impact that he's had when it comes to the relationships with his players. And I believe that's wholeheartedly is the reason why they're in the position that they're in.
Yeah, he's had such an amazing season. But to take that team, turn them around from 4-13 into the Super Bowl the next season. I will say though, it's such a shame that Patriots fans had to go a whole 5 years without an amazing Hall of Fame potential Super Bowl appearance. Like, they're so spoiled. I am so jealous. I think it's going to be such a fun matchup this year, just because this Seattle, New England, like this is a rerun. We've seen how this land ended last time. I think so many Seattle fans are probably like, oh, 4th and 1, what are we going to do here? Like, I can't wait for just the trauma out here in Washington State. I hope it's a close game because they've seen this movie before and it ended very badly for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's why you play them. You play them to find out if that's going to hold true or not.
And What Tiffany said, Ron, the situation matters so much, and
Mhm.
in my opinion, coaching matters a lot. And you've seen,
Yeah.
the Patriots lose Belichick, the Seahawks lose Pete Carroll, and for them to be back in the Super Bowl so quickly, it's a credit to the job those coaches have done over there. And Sam Darnold likewise. The bad situation finally finds the right situation, and you see it all take off. So it
Mhm.
just, to me, it emphasizes how important coaching and the situation matters, right?
Oh, absolutely. And first of all, kudos to the personnel departments because of what they've done and the people they've brought in. Secondly, I think kudos to those coaches. They've done a tremendous job. They've put their players and team in position to get to where they're at the Super Bowl. And that's the interesting thing about this matchup. You have one guy in Vrabel who not only has been there as a player, but he's coached as a player in the Super Bowl, so he knows what that's like. Whereas for Mike McDonald, on the other hand, this is his first true venture into a successful campaign to get to the Super Bowl. Now, will he be able to pull it off? That's the thing everybody's watching because, for whatever reason, I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than people are anticipating. I know everybody's
Me too.
anticipating Seattle big victory.
Yeah.
I love the Seattle team speed, but I really do think if this game can be kept close and get into the fourth quarter, the team with the last possession, that's who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's going to
100%.
be close. I think it's going to be chaotic. So Alex and I watching this season, we have both thought all season that this is the most chaotic season of football we've seen in a long time.
Oh,
Like, I can't think of a season that more exemplifies the any given Sunday phrasing than this year. It has been absolutely like I'm great at picking games. Last year I think I finished at 79%. I had to pick a quarter to pick my Atlanta games because I went 0-8 to start the season with the Falcons games. I could not pick an Atlanta game to save my life. And I'm good at picks. This is
I'm from there. Don't do
I was flipping a quarter. I wrote Falcons on one side. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's an F on it. Like
that.
I think you nailed it. I mean, it really was one of those seasons where you really could down. I mean, who'd have thought what would have happened to Washington after the year they had last year with Jaden? I mean, you
Yeah.
almost expected them to be right back on top, and then all of a sudden the injuries pile up. So there are some things we just can't account for. Injuries are one of them, that's for sure. I mean, but then you say, look at, and I agree with one of your points also, Amanda. I think this was one of the really good coaching jobs this year by Cal Shanahan.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was so jealous. I mean, watching the Packers players drop like flies the second half of the season, I was like, we need Shanahan. They're still in it. They lost almost every one of their starters besides CMC this year. Like I made so many jokes about them doing some kind of weird magic to keep him healthy, but it worked. Like go and throw Mac Jones in, win a game. I was so impressed by that. To still be in the mix with so many starters injured was so impressive to me.
And I mean, they rely heavily on CMC as well. So yeah, it is a great thing that he didn't get injured, but you can't say enough about, and there's always been those injuries that have been plaguing. I feel like this San Francisco
Yeah,
team with
oh,
Shanahan there,
Yeah.
he found
well,
a way.
isn't it the electrical substation
Electrical, yeah,
theory
Yeah.
now?
whatever's going on out there.
I am so intrigued by that. That's such like a conspiracy theory thing. And like it might be true. Like people aren't practicing there this week. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm intrigued to see.
If I was coaching, yeah, I'm not having my team.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm a little superstitious, but me neither. Mm-mm. If there's a
Well,
chance, there's a chance. So who are you guys picking in the Super Bowl? Are you allowed to
yeah.
have a bias and say who you think is going to win?
I defer to Ron on that. I'm still a
Yeah.
reporter,
Yeah.
and I'm always team neutral. So
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to be honest. For the most part, I'm leaning towards Seattle because of the team speed. The other stat that I found very intriguing and really important too is, they're the fourth leading team in pressure on the quarterback, and they
Yeah.
blitz less than anybody. Okay, they're doing it with a four-man pass rush, which means that they're always solid with a seven-man drop. When you're doing that and you're getting pressure, that's pretty doggone good. So that's kind of the reason I'm leaning towards it. I expect this to be a really, really good game. I really do. And I mean it when I said it. This game to me is going to come down to the last possession.
and the
Yeah.
thing too, I mean, just to add in a little nugget without picking, but we all know it hasn't been that great for the Patriots when it comes to protecting Drake May and the amount of sacks this season. So we'll see
Yeah.
if someone gets
Yeah,
out.
I'm intrigued by that matchup. Jackson Smith and Jigba up against Christian Gonzalez is going to be a great matchup to watch too. Like there's
Yeah.
some really
Hmm.
fun head-to-head
Agreed.
matchups in this one.
I got to ride with Mike Vrabel. I wanted him
Yeah.
to be the Bears head coach. I think we made the right decision with Ben Johnson, but I've loved Vrabel since Tennessee. Taking Ryan Tannehill to the NFC Championship game. I hope he gets his ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm riding with the Patriots. Amanda, who are you taking? I think Amanda's going Seattle here.
I'm going Seattle just to be a little different, and I really like the defense this year. I've
Yeah.
jokingly called them the Legion of Doom because Boom was taken already, and they're very different style of defense than the Legion of Boom was. But I've just been having fun with that. The whole Sam Darnold story is great.
Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time. We can't wait for No Headsets dropping tomorrow.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we
Appreciate you.
appreciate you so
Thank
much,
you,
guys.
guys.
Thanks for taking the time. Have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.